Hey everyone, Tobias here. So this is the first video of my PvP meta series. I'm hoping to make this a continuing series where we take a look at some of the meta attacking and defending units. So first thing on the list is a team that is quite popular on initial release. And it's the Mage Melt team. So it's quite an offensive attacking team for PvP, and actually in our Discord, guild Discord, when we stream and help a player climb to the very top for Battle Arena and Princess Arena, we use this team as one of the core attempts for PvP, at least in the Princess Arena section. So for the Mage Melt team, that term came from essentially building a lot of mage units, which are really strong early game because there aren't a lot of mage specific tanks initially. Kuka is one, but not a lot of people will have her at high star, so she's not going to shine until much later on. Nozomi as a mixed tank is great, but again, people usually have her at 3 star, and she needs a bit more support to really tank out the heavy magical damages. So a lot of people will have Miyako to gate or stop the physical attackers, and Miyako really just melts, pudding really just melts against the magical teams. A lot of people don't really notice it. It's because magic attacks cannot miss. So when you're running, for example, Makoto or Suzuna, these characters, when they're hitting enemies, especially enemy tanks, because of level differences and because of stats that adds dodge or evasion, you can actually miss. But for the mages like Hatsune, Akari, all the magic attacking users, they don't miss. So all the hits are gonna land on the enemy, and which is why early game for sure mages are super strong. So what makes a core mage team? So there are quite a lot of variation, but first and foremost, you want to decide whether or not you're running a 1 tank 4 mages hyper offensive team, or you want to run a 2 tank 3 mages balance team. So I would say for the hyper offensive team, the best tank is either Miyako or Nozomi. Miyako, because even at low stars, she still has the 5-second invincibility when she turns into the little ghost. So that essentially negates damage during that time. Which is quite crucial because you're racing against the clock. Nozomi is good because she has a taunt that you probably won't get it activated if you're rushing through with the Mage Melt, but her skill actually stuns some of the front line, so you can use that to disable some things like a Tamaki, just to delay a little bit. So onwards with the supporting cast. So for the supporting cast, you can run Shizune, Shizuru or Monica. So Shizuru is great because mages are inherently, if you play super offensive, they're squishy, and putting a Shizuru can sometimes stop a Tamaki kill because of the physical defense shield. And Monica is because it's even more offensive because you're speeding up your whole team. So these two are support, and they're great supports. But again, if you run a balance, it's 1 tank and 1 support, or 2 tanks. And if it's hyper offensive, just 1 tank. And the rest is these are the mages that we have and that are recommended initially. You have your Ana, which is really good. Io, Hatsune, they're both fantastic. Akari, 2 star at launch. She has defense, magic defense down, so it melts players even quicker, or their tanks even quicker. So what you want to do is, if you run Akari, it's definitely a hyper offensive team you're going for, because she's essentially a defense shred for magic. You don't want to run just Akari and 2 mages. It's better to run 3 mages like a Hatsune, Ana, Io plus Akari and a pudding to go really hyper offensive. Yori is another character that's harder to use, I would say, for beginners. Just due to the fact that Yori starts at 1 star, you have to spend some amulets to get her higher star. I know some whales, at least on launch for CN, they 5-starred Yori to really make a super offensive mage team and just melt everything. But I'm sure there are better choices for our close soft launch right now. So yeah, again, the Mage team, there's hyper offensive and balance, and because they can't miss right now, they are one of the easiest teams to build and take to the top. They're also really good against NPCs. If you just joined a new bracket, there will be bots, so it's really good to build and to top in the arena right now.